Hey friends, before I start this episode, I just want to share something that came to me from a listener who sent in an email wondering if I would take a look at an event that they're having and possibly lend my support. And as this podcast is called Gather, Connect, Create, and as I am all about sharing ways that we can do exactly that, I am so happy to share this event in support of an organization that is helping to support women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. Rather than tell you about it myself, I'm going to turn the mic over to the founder and board president of Savage Support, Deanna Savage.
Hi, Megan. We're throwing a party at Milwaukee's historic Oriental Theater on June 11th with a private screening of This Is Spinal Tap, because this year, Savage Support turns 11, and we're absolutely going to 11. I started Savage Support after going through breast cancer myself. I know what it's like to sit in treatment or post-surgery, worrying about groceries, bills, or how you're getting to your next appointment. Cancer doesn't pause real life. That's where Savage Support steps in. We're 100% volunteer run with zero paid staff, and every dollar stays right here in southeastern Wisconsin, helping people in treatment with groceries, transportation, personal care items, and just everyday essentials. 11 years, and the need is still growing. And this event helps us keep showing up for our community. It's going to be an incredible night of film, music, laughter, and people coming together for something that truly matters. And honestly, it's just a really fun night out for a great cause. Join us June 11th at 6:30 p.m. at the Oriental Theater. Tickets are available at savagesupport.org. Come help us turn it up and pack the house. Thank you so much for including us in the Gather, Connect, Create podcast.
I hope you will consider turning it up to 11 with Savage Support on June 11th and maybe see you there. Now on to today's episode. Thanks for listening. Hey, welcome back to Gather, Connect, Create. I'm your host, Megan Schultz, and this is the podcast where I have been bringing you ideas, conversations, and ways that you can gather, connect, and create with people you love, or maybe even people you don't know yet. I think this is what we need more of in our world, and I'm on a mission to share it. Hey, thank you for joining me on this season finale of season 9 of Gather, Connect, Create, even though technically it's only been the first season of this new iteration of the pod. Before this, of course, it was Cream City Dreams. I have so enjoyed sharing all kinds of conversations and ideas and people who are doing really cool things, from women's circles to book readings to song circles and wonder seeking and cookbook clubs and dinner dates and dance parties and voice memo friendships and screen-free gatherings and writing practices and secret clubs and small talk, and maybe a philosophy that encompasses all of what I've been talking about, and that's the people-based learning that was just in the last few weeks in my conversation with Dr. Jane Shore. When I decided to shift from Cream City Dreams to Gather, Connect, Create, it's because I wanted to be able to talk with people who were outside of Milwaukee or who may not be women, because of course that was the focus of Cream City Dreams, was women living in Milwaukee. But I also found that the people that I was drawn to interviewing for Cream City Dreams were women who were gathering people and who were building connections and creating community and doing things that brought people together. Gather, Connect, Create was also the tagline on my website a few iterations ago. And those are really the 3 words that keep coming up over and over again when I do any kind of values clarification or, choose what's most important to you. It's really gathering, connecting, and creating. Those 3 words just keep coming back, which is why I'm actually pushing pause on the podcast for the summer so that I can spend a little less time in my 3rd floor studio, attic, closet, office turned podcasting space, less time looking at my screen and doing all the back end things that come with a podcast, like the editing, like the newsletters, like the show notes, and more time in real life more time gathering, connecting, and creating in the flesh with friends and potential friends, new friends, strangers, and maybe most importantly, my kiddos. I have an 8th grader who is moving into high school this fall, and it's hitting me that I really only have about 3 or 4 summers left with him. And if I'm listening to the mothers who have gone before me in this age, really I only have 1 or 2 years, because as soon as he gets his license, he may not need me much, right? So I am pushing pause so that I can take a break and spend more time with the people who I love. And if I'm being fully transparent, I am taking the summer to think about, what is it that I really want for this podcast? What is it that I hope to do with it when I come back to it? I absolutely love it. It's been probably one of the biggest joys of my life, aside from my family, of course, but getting to meet so many interesting people who are doing wildly creative things, and then to share them in the hopes of inspiring other people to tap into their own creativity and connections. And I know I don't have a huge reach on this podcast, and for a while that used to disappoint me. I think I thought maybe it would spread, it might get big. But you know what? Stepping away from that world, stepping away from social media, as I talked about a few weeks ago with Tekla, having been away from it for a year, has really helped me to let go of not the ambition for what I would love or dream that this podcast could grow into, but the hustle to get it there, the keeping up with the Joneses, the FOMO, all of that, not 100% gone, but it really does feel like it has lessened tremendously. And I am just so grateful for the listeners who keep showing up week after week, my small but mighty audience of people who write back to me after I send out a newsletter or drop me a voice memo or a text, letting me know that, hey, they liked the guest, they tried something we talked about, and they had a connection. I love hearing those stories. That is why I do this podcast. And so when I say I'm giving up the podcast this summer, it's so I can rethink what I want to do with it, spend more time with the people I love, and also have a little fun with it. So what I'm giving up is the weekly Wednesday podcast drops. Does that mean I won't be back this summer at all? Probably not. In fact, my daughter, probably one of the highest downloaded episodes from last summer, was the episode I did with my daughter. And she's let me know that she might be interested in coming back on the pod this summer. So maybe you'll hear from her. Maybe I'll drop in and release an episode if I find myself invited to a fun gathering that I just can't not tell you about. I might drop in and invite you to join me for a gathering. As I record this, I have just come back from the forest walk that my friend and forest therapy guide Megan Bolin and I ran together, and we had the most glorious morning along the river with a group of women. So much fun, in fact, that we decided we would love to offer at least 2, if not 3 more of them this summer. So I may come on to invite you to one of those. I'd also love to do more writing workshops. With 3 kids at home, I may not be able to host them at my house. So if you know of a space or you would like to invite me to lead a gathering, by all means, reach out and get in touch. Another project that I want to try at least 1 or 2 of this summer is something that I've been sitting with for a while now. It's something that has been on my website, but I just haven't really advertised or pushed all that much. But I would love to help families tell their stories. I've been doing that for almost 4 years on this podcast, telling other people's stories. And I wanted to open that up to anyone who wants their story told. I got this idea because toward the end of my grandmother's life, she and I would have Zoom calls with my dad once a week. She was in Ohio, he was in California, I was in Wisconsin. And we would hop on the Zoom and, week after week, we'd often talk about the same things. But I got to hear her voice, hear her laugh, and toward the end of it, I started recording it. And I'm so happy that I did that because I have this record now of her giggle and the way she would end her sentences with a sigh. I have all of that captured. And if you go on the website, you can hear my grandmother and I talking. And after she passed, I made this into what feels a little more like a story. It's got some music behind it. It's got me asking her questions, but it's also got me talking about how much she meant to me. And I'm so grateful that I have this and can pass it on so that my kids, who really didn't get to know her very well, can hear her stories. And this is something I would love to open up for other families, so that they can have that gift as well. So maybe I'll be trying to do 1 or 2 of these this summer. If that might be you, please reach out and get in touch. Or if you know someone. And families are funny, right? Sometimes I think these conversations are harder to have ourselves with the ones we love than it is for a stranger to have them. So you could send me a set of questions. Of course, I would take my voice out of the recording because you don't need me in your family history, but we can seamlessly edit the conversation so that it's just the stories from your family. Or if you want to be a part of it and you want to be the interviewer, we can make that happen as well. These are all the kinds of things we could talk about before we actually sit down to record. But I would love to try this out this summer. So if this is of interest to you, or maybe it's a gift you want to share with somebody, or maybe you know somebody who received a diagnosis and would love to tell their story before it's too late, please reach out. I would be so happy to connect with you. Tekla and I talked a few weeks ago about setting your intention for summer. What do you want your summer to look like? If you were writing the story of what happened this summer, what you filled 2026 with, what would you want that story to say? And I think for me, I want to do more play. Because for me, play has a connotation of surprise. There's that childlike delight that comes with play. There's a sort of effervescence about play that I just think we need more of. So I want to play more, whether that's in the forest or on the page or with watercolors, with my kids. I want more of that childlike delight. And I hope to bring more people along with me. So hopefully you are connected to me through my newsletter, where if I do drop an episode, I'll let you know. But I'm definitely not clogging your inbox this summer because I will mostly be writing with pen and paper. They say, whoever they are, that podcasters should be consistent and keep the episodes flowing through summer. But I'm here to say I'm going to be playful with any episodes I do drop. They'll be sporadic. They may be on Wednesdays, but they may not. If you have an idea for a fun summer podcast that we can play around with, reach out and let me know. If you're here locally in Milwaukee and you've got any fun gatherings, let me know and I can put those in my monthly gathering emails, which I will try to send out because it is so fun to let you know about some of the things that you may otherwise not hear about, like these forest walks, or like yoga classes with my friend Maggie, or sound baths with Parisa, or book reading events with Angela, or singing with Holly. So many things that don't get published in the big time newspapers here that I can let you know about because they're fun. So please make sure you're on my newsletter, and if you're local, take that extra step in the newsletter and click the button so I can add you to my hyper-local list of cool things in Milwaukee. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you on the airwaves. I hope you found some time to set your own intention for your summer so you know how you want to feel as you move through each day. I hope you take time to play. I hope you take time to relax. But maybe most of all, I hope you take time to gather, connect, and create. See you around.